Welcome to week 11 of my Mallorca training vlog. So after nearly 3 weeks off the bike due to a sinus infection, I finally managed to get out and do my first proper road ride. I have to say the weather was absolutely fantastic. It was beautifully warm, beautifully sunny, and I just couldn't resist getting out on the bike, sinus infection or not. My plan was to go out and do a short, easy 20-kilometre route, but the weather was so nice and I was enjoying it so much, I extended it slightly and ended up doing 26 kilometres. The route I chose was fairly flat, although as the ride extended, it inevitably took in a couple of climbs. My plan was to go out and not push myself too hard as I was trying to recover from this sinus infection, so I didn't really know what level of fitness I was at. So I tried to keep my heart rate between 70 and 80% of my maximum, although as the road started to kick up, so too did my heart rate, and it peaked at about 85–86%, which just confirmed to me that I had taken time off the bike and I had indeed lost a little bit of fitness. I then went out and did a second ride, and it was a slightly longer one. I took in a 40-kilometre route over a fairly hilly, difficult course. And although I completed the ride in the same time as I did it last time, I could really feel when I got home that I was absolutely shattered. My legs felt heavy, my back even hurt, and I just felt completely drained of energy. And again, I can only put this down to having 3 weeks off the bike and having lost a fair bit of fitness. Again, that I'm fairly surprised by this because I have taken time off the bike before, and when I've got back on it, it didn't seem as if I'd lost that much fitness. So having done 2 rides this week, I think my plan for next week is to go out and do even more rides. Okay, the 40-kilometre ride I did this week was pretty hard and I felt really tired afterwards, but that could just have been me having a bad day, or it could just have been me not completely recovered from the sinus infection. So I'll go out and do another 40-kilometre ride and see how that goes. Hopefully that will be fine, and then I'll start doing some 50-kilometre rides, starting off with a fairly easy, fairly flat one, and then building up to a fairly hilly one in anticipation of the Isle of Wight randonnée. So the Isle of Wight randonnée, which is one of my training goals for this year, is only 2 weeks away. And in light of this week's rides, I really am thinking that I should do the short route. The longer route's 110 kilometres and the shorter route is about 50. But as I've kept on saying on here, the Isle of Wight is really hilly. There's literally not a flat piece of road on the island. And if I struggled to do 40 kilometres this week over a fairly hilly course, I'm really going to struggle to do 100 kilometres over a very hilly course on the island. So I think I'm going to have to just suck it up and do the short one this year, and then go for the longer one again next year. So looking further ahead to the long-term goal of the Mallorca trip itself, I've got just over 5 months before we fly out at the end of September. Now, if you've been watching these vlogs from episode 1, you'll know that we've recently been in touch with a company called Love Velo, who very kindly agreed to supply us with some hire bikes while we're out there. Now, I have to admit, I've never hired a bike before, and I do have a few concerns. Mainly, will the bike actually fit me? Now, I've spoken to Love Velo, and they say that the process is that we fill in a form with our measurements, and then they'll supply the bikes according to those measurements. I've got a very sort of odd body geometry. My legs are very short, and my body is very long, and consequently my bike is a fairly odd shape. Now, it's not a massive problem. After all, the bikes that I do have fit me, and they fit me quite well. But when I've bought them, it's taken a little bit of fine-tuning, maybe, 20 minutes, half an hour of just maybe swapping over a stem or raising a saddle or something like that. And I remember the last time I bought a bike which was the Specialized out in the US, after we changed the stem and put a longer one on there, it felt perfectly natural. So maybe I'm worrying about nothing with these hire bikes, that you know, when they get to us they'll fit us perfectly and we'll have a fantastic ride around Mallorca. So are you training for a particular event? If you are, please let me know all about it in the comments below. If you found this film useful, please like and share. And if you'd like to get the most out of your cycling, please consider subscribing for my regular weekly uploads. Thanks for watching.